Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. As I announced, I guess it was on yesterday's show, I'm doing a series of interviews on Inc. 5000 companies that are in the $1 to $10 million revenue space, because I think these are companies that are so important. These are companies that are on the brink of really expanding or failing. And so it's interesting to hear about the success stories of those in this particular space, because I think they relate to so many other people. Just a couple of real quick reminders. Do want to say that today's show brought to you in part by North American Solutions, Super Interns, and Houston Jewelry. Also want to mention that the Price of Business television show, we just recently did a 3-part interview with Senator Rand Paul, a 3-segment interview, rather, with Senator Rand Paul, one of the candidates for the Republican nomination. It was an awesome interview, and that's going to be aired soon on the Biz Television Network. And so really excited about who we've had on. Coming up on this weekend, we've got Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who is one of the biggest selling business books of all time. James Avery is our guest, and not the jewelry guy. This guy's in the ad business, and his company's called AdZerk. I love the name, ADZERK.com. And boy, you talk about currency and relevance, particularly in a kind of a weird economic environment. People need media exposure and advertising, but they need it to be extremely smart, and that's what AdZerk does. James, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
A little bit about your company. Kind of give us the elevator speech, if you will.
Sure. So we are a online advertising company. We work with digital publishers. So we work with the companies, the websites that people visit on a day-to-day basis, and we help them more efficiently deliver and serve and count and monitor their advertising. So
Okay.
We're very much a publisher-focused business. We kind of work with these other companies. And we try to help them, really build effective online advertising.
Talk a little bit about the size range of the companies that you work with.
Yeah, so we work with some of the biggest companies on the internet. So like one of our big customers is Reddit, is one of the top sites of the internet. And then we work with, companies, all the way down to, local news affiliates and things like that who, aren't huge, but are still, have very meaningful online traffic.
Mm-hmm. And how does that relationship work? Do they just directly pay you? Do you get a piece of the action? How does that work?
Yeah, so we're a software as a service business. So that we have a tool set, like a set of APIs that their developers use. Then they pay for those based on how much volume they do. So it's very much kind of a set monthly fee, month after month.
Okay. And what all do they get for that monthly fee?
So for the most part, it's access to our tool set and being able to deliver ads through our system. So the main kind of value that we provide is that, customers can use our API to serve ads and count those ads and control and target what's being served. So it's very much kind of an infrastructure piece. So it's something they need really to be able to serve ads and make money.
What kind of traffic should a website have before they even entertain working with you?
We usually work with, people are doing millions of page views a month at a minimum. Lots of our customers do billions of page views. So it's pretty high up there. And really for us, the distinction that we look for is that we look for publishers who are selling direct ads, or they're looking to do something unique. Because there's lots of companies out there, like Google being the biggest one, where you can just go put, ad tags on your page, sign up for an ad network and make some money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually have a team dedicated to building like a new ad product or going out and selling something, then you need something more than just a network that you put on the page.
Yeah, and how do you get your clients typically?
Yeah, so it's usually it's almost all direct sales. So it's either us reaching out to them or them finding us through media mentions and word of mouth. We actually don't do a lot of marketing. We write some op-eds and things like that every once in a while, but for the most part, it's word of mouth between companies, and it's us reaching out to companies that we think are a good fit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how old is your company?
So we started back in 2010, 2011.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the challenges that you've had since you've been created.
Yeah, I think there's always a ton of challenges. And I think for us, probably one of the biggest challenges was I was a solo founder. So, I started the company by myself. And it really took me longer than I expected to build a really first-class leadership team. And I think that's something that people don't think about a lot, is that it's really hard to find those people that you can trust to hand over entire parts of the business to. Mm-hmm. And that's what's probably taken the longest and had the most kind of false starts and people that didn't work out. But now we've gotten to a place where it's really good. And I think kind of our growth shows that. Like, that's kind of been one of the key things to unlock growth.
How many employees does your company have?
So right now we're at 15 people.
15 people. Well, that's fantastic. Talk a little bit about, what the 2016 looks like.
Yeah, so we're hoping that 2016 is a good year of growth. Like our goal is to not only keep growing our current business, but we're hoping to launch a new product that we can sell to our current customers, as well as unlock a larger market. So that's kind of one of the big exciting things we're working on that we think will help drive growth.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So you mentioned, small media outlets, which I assume are like little networks or even radio stations in different parts of the country. What kind of traffic are they getting on the low end? And can you get a lot out of your basic monthly budget of $1,000?
Yeah. So I can't really give out like their traffic numbers, but like local affiliates get a ton of traffic, especially for local news. Is still very big. Both on the web, and it's getting really, really big on mobile because, news is still very much a local thing in a lot of ways. And so for the minimum for AdZerk is $1,000 a month, and you get, 30 million impressions a month. So you can get a lot of traffic into that, $1,000 a month. But it really only makes sense to pay.
30 million impressions. How does that translate to in reality and from a practical perspective?
So like 30 million impressions would probably be, anywhere from like 10 million page views. But like, let's say a local affiliate, like a local Fox station, TV station or something like that probably gets, 20 to 30 million page views. So they'd be more like 100 million impressions.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this is you making sure their sites are found on other sites, or what does that mean?
Yeah. So this is just helping them serve the right ads to the right people. So like, for instance, if you're a local news affiliate and you're selling to car dealerships, which is a very popular customer for them, then they may say, well, we want to try to target ads only to people who have visited certain parts of our site, or only to people who have looked at sports pages. We want to show them ads about trucks and things like that, or we want to make sure that we show certain networks to certain people. So there's lots of optimizations that you do to try to show the right ad to the right person online.
James Avery,
and that's where we can help them out.
James Avery's been our guest, and he is someone who's been featured on Inc. 5000. His company's called AdZerk. That's ADZERK, AdZerk.com. Thanks so much for being with us.
Great, thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have more for you. This is The Price of Business.